and create this TV. I'm going to have this main TV part is going to be one big object, and then we're going to have these little, they're transparent sides that stick out a little bit. That's going to be another object. And then we're going to create two objects right here and then one object right there. We're going to use that all with the loft and the extrude. Alrighty. So let's get to it. Alright, I'm going to go into my right view. And just be quick and easy, we're going to just go ahead and make a rectangle. Look at my images. Looks like they kind of have rounded edges. See if we can kind of make a rounded edges width, and we'll go ahead and change the height, and then we'll do the width. We'll do it like we'll do one. Oh, so this is a 16, and we'll do a 1. No, that's not. Let's do 160 by 100. Alrighty. So that works. It's a nice little rounding edge to it, not too drastic. So that's a good widescreen size. And so then what we're going to do is I'm going to make it editable so that I can play around with it if I want, when I want to. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a loft. And I'm going to throw this in there, and then I'm going to copy paste this in. Since I'm only going to be working in the right view, let's bring this down a little bit. Change this to the right view. Alright. I'm going to take this second object, throw it in there, and then I'm going to just bring it forward a little bit. It's a good thickness to the TV. Alright. Then we're going to copy and paste this one, throw it into the loft, and then this one we're going to shrink it down a little bit. Now let's just see if it's wider on one side or not. It looks like it is wider on one side, so that's a good sign for us. It is wider. Actually, we'll need to make it a little bit. We'll just leave that one there, and then we'll copy and paste it. Got a little bit wider. Okay, so what I did is I had two that are the exact same, sitting on the same spot, so I don't have a weird lip when it's coming in. So it'll look like this, where I have this one. These ones are on the same spot, so that it doesn't continue to kind of bulb over, so it kind of just sits right there. And then we're going to take this one, and we're going to copy and paste it. We're going to bring it down just a little bit, and let's take a look at that. Looks like the next one we need to needs to kind of go down drastically. So we're going to bring it back just a little bit, throw that in there, and we'll check out the loft that we have. So it goes in a little bit, it's good, and then we can. Actually, that's pretty good for the settings, however we want it. If you wanted this to be a little more drastic, where it was like a tighter cut, we can actually take this one, copy paste it, throw it in there, so then it'll be a more of a drastic cut, and then we can actually, yeah, that'll work. So that's our main TV body. Alrighty, And I'm going to take this shape that we have for the body itself, and since I'm going to work on the outside area, I'm just going to take this spline that I already created. I'm just going to make it a little bit shallower because it actually cuts down a little. No, actually it doesn't. So we'll actually maybe a little tiny bit. So we'll just make sure it's a little bit tinier, smaller, but it is a lot wider. All right. So then all we have to do with this one is kind of get our placement right. So, and I believe, if I remember correctly, how these look, that they actually are, they go down just a tiny bit. So we'll take these, paste them, go out a little bit, and then we'll bring them down a little bit. Alright, so what I did is I just kind of copied and pasted my middle two, and then I had to come in, so we're going to go ahead and do a loft, and we're going to throw all these in there, and that should be the right direction. If it's getting weird, let's just check it out. It might be a little bit weird. So we have this one, two, okay, so that one needs to be at the bottom. This one right here, this one right here. So we might want to make a duplicate of this one, put it right there, so it gets a little bit more harder edge. And then I might make a duplicate of this one, put it in there also, so I have a little bit harder edge as well. Alright, so just so you can kind of see what it would look like if I made a transparency on it, a little bit more transparent. There we go. And then I threw it on this object. There we go. That's how that's going to look. So well, that might be sticking out a little bit too much. It does stick out quite a bit. Okay, so we're going to leave that there. The top part of the body is done. Now we're going to do this base. It'll be pretty easy. We're going to, at this point, create, so this is a wide body, and we'll just be body. Alright, so then we're going to create a round circle spline. Going to make sure that it is on the bottom like this. I'm going to shrink this down to the correct size. I think it's going to be a little bit shorter than the actual body of it. So we're going to look at the top right here. Let's see how big this is going to be. This is the whole body right here. And then we're going to just shrink it down a little bit. So that's a little bit under. That works out good for us. And then we're going to go back to our right view. Now we're going to bring this down to about where it's going to be in the middle of where this body is. Alright? And for this particular one, if I look at it, for some reason it goes from a wider one to a skinnier one. Alright, so we're going to, the best way to go about doing that is to, the easiest way to do it is with a loft again, bam, and we're going to copy and paste this, bring it down into it, bring this down quite a bit, say right here, that's good enough. And then we'll just make it a little bit skinnier. There we go, a little bit skinnier, that's fine. Take a look at it so far. Now this actual TV might be a little bit thicker. So if that's the case, so let's say if this is like, it's like about this thick, if that's the case, then that means the circle could probably be a lot bigger size-wise. And that way it won't look as awkward. Select these two circles, kind of push them back the same distance because they're like pretty vertical. Alright. So that's like that, and that means I can probably make this bottom one not as skinny. Alright, that fixes that. Actually, I might make this top one a little bit skinnier so that it doesn't get close. There we go. Just go down. There we go. That's fine. Now we have to look at that again because there's a second or third part. So no, look, this is like just this part right here. It's like we could probably bring that in a little bit and with the loft and then kind of have it come down a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about that. All right. So we just have to make a little cap. Easiest way to go about doing it, copy paste this. I'm going to make an extrude. There we go. Make sure that the extrude goes down where it's supposed to. I guess that's not the right direction. Delete. We want it to go in the X. There we go, down, bring it down just a little bit. And we're going to give it a little bit of a fillet cap at the bottom. And we're going to constrain it. And then we probably have to bring up the coordinates, or the, because it's only a little bit. And then this cap, we need to negative. There we go. See how that looks. Okay, so that's really high up there, so we'll need to no, I want to go down. No, or the other way. So it's real high up there like that. That looks perfectly fine. Then the next one, we're going to need the base. Check out the base, how that kind of looks. It has a little bit of a lip. We can probably just do an extrude with a fillet on it. So we'll go ahead and we'll change the view right here to top. And I'm going to create a rectangle and make it editable so I can get different shapes to it. And we're going to kind of, I think it, see where the bottom kind of goes. So it's really maybe half as large. So we'll bring this in a little bit. This probably sets out a little bit more like that. And we'll go ahead and bring this down, create an extrude, throw that in there. We just have to make sure that it's going in the right direction, which is this is not the correct direction. But I believe this one is going to be, so it goes over here. You can mess with the cap. Maybe like a 1. There we go. And then we just have to make sure that it is going to intersect that part. Intersecting, make sure it's not going out the bottom. There we go. We have a TV.